When you step closer to retirement, your perspective on money changes completely. For decades, the focus was simple: work hard, earn an income, and put a percentage of that paycheck aside. But as you prepare to transition out of the daily workforce, or if you are already living in retirement, a subtle shift occurs. You are no longer relying primarily on your labor to generate cash flow. Instead, you need your accumulated savings to carry the weight. This transition naturally brings a heavy dose of anxiety. Many people near retirement ask themselves the exact same quiet question: will my money actually last as long as I do? Inflation erodes purchasing power every single year, medical expenses tend to rise as we age, and the fear of outliving a hard-earned nest egg is very real. You might worry that keeping your funds in basic savings accounts exposes them to stealthy losses from inflation, while putting them in growth vehicles feels uncomfortably risky when you do not have decades to recover from a market downturn. This brings us to the core mechanism behind long-term wealth stability and growth: compound interest. You have likely heard the phrase many times, but its real power is often misunderstood or downplayed, especially for those entering or living in their golden years. At its simplest, compound interest is interest earned on interest. With simple interest, your returns are calculated strictly on your original deposit, known as the principal balance. If you put money in a basic instrument, you get a flat return on that initial sum year after year. Compound interest operates on a fundamentally different engine. When your initial investment earns a return, those earnings are added back to your principal. The next time a return is calculated, it applies to your new, larger total, the principal plus the accumulated interest. Think of it like a snowball rolling down a snow-covered hill. At the top, the ball is small and moves slowly. But as it rolls, it picks up snow. The larger it grows, the more surface area it has to collect even more snow with every revolution. By the time it reaches the bottom, the vast majority of its size wasn't put there by your hands at the top, it built itself through momentum. A common misconception among retirees and near-retirees is that compound interest is only useful when you are 20 or 30 years old. People often assume that if they haven't already built a multi-million-dollar portfolio, it is too late for compounding to do anything meaningful for them. That belief is incorrect and can cost you significantly. Compounding does not shut down simply because you reached age 60 or 65. In fact, because modern retirements can easily span 20, 30, or even 35 years, your money needs to keep compounding throughout your retirement years just as much as it did during your working years. If you retire at 65 and live to 90, that is a quarter-century time frame, plenty of time for compounding to continue working in your favor and protecting you against rising living costs. To see how this works in practice, let's look at a concrete example. Imagine someone sitting on a balance of $100,000 at the start of retirement. If that money sits somewhere earning zero real growth, and they pull out $5,000 a year to supplement their income, that balance steadily drains down over 20 years until nothing is left. However, if that same $100,000 is invested in conservative, yield-generating assets returning a modest, steady yield, and dividends or interest are systematically reinvested, the engine behaves entirely differently. Even as modest withdrawals are made, the remaining balance continues to earn returns on the growing interest baseline. Instead of a straight downward slope towards zero, compounding slows the drain, stabilizes the principal, and in many market conditions, allows the nest egg to maintain or even grow its balance while still supplying consistent income. So how do you actually harness compound interest during retirement or the years leading right up to it? First, ensure your assets are positioned where compounding can actually occur. Cash sitting in a standard checking account or a traditional low-yield savings account is actually losing value every day due to inflation. Look into vehicles that generate yield, such as dividend-paying funds, high-yield savings accounts, money market instruments, or conservative bond ladders, where earnings can be automatically reinvested. Second, utilize dividend reinvestment plans, often called DRIPs. When you hold income-producing investments, you receive regular payout distributions. Rather than cashing those small checks out immediately if you don't need them for daily expenses, set your account to automatically reinvest those payouts to buy additional partial shares. Those new shares then generate their own payouts in the next cycle, compounding your income stream. Third, adjust your risk management without stopping growth completely. Moving 100% of your savings into pure cash out of fear halts the compound growth engine when you need it most. Balancing a portion of your portfolio in stable, income-generating assets ensures you maintain growth while protecting yourself from sharp, short-term market drops. Building retirement security isn't about finding a secret shortcut or taking unnecessary risks late in life. It comes down to understanding the simple, relentless math of compounding, keeping your money positioned in yield-producing assets, and letting time work for you, even throughout your retirement years.